and welcome along and welcome back to Six Ashes. It is the last day of spring, and we're taking this tractor out here. We've actually had a change in weather between last time and this time. So looking here, we've got a pretty good drying day for the back half of today. So I want to get this field cut, because if we can get this cut early, we'll have the rest of today drying, and then we can do lots and lots of stuff with the do lots and lots of hay next game day. So that is my plan here. Let's get this started. So starter up, and if we can cut this field, we will be in a really good place. We might even try and get a tedder out and see if we can finish off this field, or get this field tethered and our other field tethered. You can actually see field 17 is half dry already, which is fantastic news. I'm just looking at this actually. We're cutting this fairly early in the morning. We've still got the wet crop icon on, so this might take a while to dry, but if we ted it, it will dry it that much quicker. So that is my plan at the moment. I'm also just looking at this tractor, and doesn't seem to be doing much crop destruction. There is a little bit, but it's not a massive amount. So I think we might be all right getting stuff done with the when we're doing fertilizing and things like that. So hopefully we'll be able to do that sort of stuff in a bit as well. Not looking to do that today. I just think it will be something that's good when we're able to. That little shack there is one reason why I am not looking to turn this field into a arable field. It'd be a bit strange to have that shed in the middle of it. Back this up, and away we go again. Struggling to get off, but we're all right. We're sort of going against, or going across the line of the slope here. So it's not too bad. It is still uphill a bit, but not too bad. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this field cut. And once we've got this cut, I think we'll go and see if we can get a tedder and ted this. And then we can see about getting the plough finished off as well, because we do have that left over from last time. And there's a little bit I want to cover about that, because somebody put something in the comments of the last video that I think I want to share with you guys, because yeah, it's something that makes that just that little bit more realistic. Now finishing off the small section at the top, we managed to, this field sort of gets divided into 3 sections as you cut, and this is the last section that we have to work on. We did leave we've left the flatbed trailer there, and you can see we've cut around it. We had so much field, and this is kind of a bit of a bonus, so I haven't worried too much about that. But yeah, of course it has left a little bit of grass at the top here. We are running quite nicely around here, and I think the more I look at this, the more I kind of see how my plan for a yard will work up here. I think we're going to end up with a larger flat area up the top, followed by a sort of a lower area of the yard as well, and down this way, and sort of flatten those two out so that we can then continue on the grass field the other side. This grass field is going to need ploughing up and replanting, because none of this is fertilizable grass or anything like that. So I'm looking at that and going, okay, we may do something else with this. We might turn it into a small field. We might keep it as grass. I think keeping it as grass is going to give us enough grass to feed the horses, especially if we plough up field 17. Field 17 I think is a defined field, so well, we're going to find out as soon as we've got the hay road and baled up. We'll find that out. What I do want to do today though is it's going to be a lot of hay making work. We're going to get the tedder and get this field and the remains of field 17 tethered. Hopefully that will turn this all to hay within the next sort of 24 hours. We can't go longer than that, and we've got risk at the end of next game day for rain. So we want to, ideally, we want this all hay and rode up as quickly as possible. And we're not too worried because, well, soybeans are going into field 17. We've got enough time to do that. If we were putting something else in today, then we'd probably have to do it in field 10A, to be honest, because we just would not have time to get it ploughed, get field 17 road baled, collected and ploughed. So it's one of those things where we need to get that done before we can put a crop in there, and whatever crop we put in there is going to do well because it's following grass pretty much. There are a couple of crops that don't, but I think soybeans is one of them that does do okay after grass. So, right, that should be one more cut, and we're done. There we go. Right, turn it off, fold it up, and I'm not sure if we can drop this off like this, but we want to drop this off up here. We're still in need of getting a pressure washer, but it's lower down my list at the moment because we have so much other stuff to get, and so much stuff that is going to cost us a lot of money. The thing that's worrying me at the most at the moment is we're going to have to get something to do the carrots, because the carrots do not have a large amount of you know, we don't have a harvester planned for the carrots. We've got 18,000 at the moment. We are going to have to get a hopefully over the summer we're going to be able to get a couple of larger contracts. Right, so let's go and get a tedder and get this drying. We can then, while this is drying, finish off the ploughing that we've got to do in this top field up here, and then we're looking at getting both horse grass and soybeans in, so in the next couple of days. So let's head down the shop, grab ourselves a tedder, and get back up here so that we can continue working the hay. Down at the equipment shop, and we'll just pull in the front here and grab ourselves a bit of kit. So we want something that will work with this, so something under 60 horsepower in the requirements. Under the tedders is where I want to be. And what we got here? So, oh wow, okay. So if we're looking for something, we can either look at something to buy or something that is cheap. Now the class, we can't really hire this. This is an older class one, but it is only 2,760. We got it in. Can we get the rim color? Oh wow. So we can go with something like that, which matches our stuff a bit better. Or what else have we got? Now we got the Pottinger's a bit expensive. That little spider. I want something with a bit of width because we want to get this done fairly quickly. We're looking, yeah, I think we are looking at this class one. This class one has 4.5 meter width. Everything else has sort of 6. Everything else that's stored at this low kind of price is 1.2 meters, 2.6 meters for this lizard one. But that is only 2.6 meters. The Deutz Condé Master is 6 meters, so it's, yeah, I think our best price for value ratio is going to be this. We'll need to buy this, which is fine, so we'll buy that. And that is all good. And I think us buying stuff and building up our hay production stuff is a good way to go. We're looking to do this on a fairly good basis. We're going to need a trailer at some point for the bales, and we're going to need a windrower as well. Right, there we go. So yeah, let's get this little thing back. And I don't think this should be fine horsepower wise as well. What is the horsepower requirement on this? I did not check that, which is a very silly thing to do. 30 horsepower. We are absolutely fine. So yeah, let's get this little piece of equipment back up to our farm, and we can go and ted the bits that still need doing. I'm going to go for the field that we freshly cut first. My reasoning for that is because the other field will be drying quite nicely. We have just lost the wet crop icon, so I'm expecting this to ted fairly quickly. If it doesn't immediately turn, I will be surprised. I have a feeling that Maize Plus does different things with the tedding of the hay as well. So I don't know which takes precedent on seasons. I do know on seasons, though, if you ted wet grass, it almost immediately turns to dry grass, which then needs to be left to dry itself. So yeah, look at that. That's an immediate turn. Wow. To dry grass, but I don't think this tedder is gonna work with this tractor. It's only a 30 horsepower requirement on this tedder, but this is not moving fast at all. We might need to put our 6810 on this and give it a little more oomph. Yeah, I'm going to give that a try. Let's stop this then and disconnect it, and we'll put our other tractor on it and see if that handles a bit better. But yeah, that should 30 horsepower. This should handle it fine. There should be no issue there whatsoever. Right, oh, let's turn this tractor off, because it does drink fuel, that. And put this one on. What I'm going to do actually is going to put this plough in the other field so that we can drop it off. I think it's still set for create fields, so let's bring this around here. But yeah, I wonder why our little Ford, maybe there's an error in this, because this is a modded tedder we're using. So let's just, I should have left this plough in here, to be honest. Looks like we've got a little bit of clearing up to do as well. So, down with this. I don't mind if we don't get back to ploughing this and finishing this off today. That is not the end of the world. We do want to get all this stuff tethered, and so that we're able to start windrowing and things, though. And yeah, if we're having a good drying day today, then it's all the more important that this gets tethered, and that we end up with a full set of hay for the next one. So let's put that up, that up. I do need to take the 5000 series down and check out our horses today as well. They are in need of more water and things like that. I think the allotment is okay, but it wouldn't hurt if we have the time to do that. And yeah, look at this. Lots of extra horsepower. We're up to 19 horsepower, and this is just going through this like it's butter. So yeah, I don't know what was wrong with the other, but this is now working nicely. You can see here how this field is now sort of splitting into different sections. There are 2 or 3 narrow points on it. Actually, 2 narrow points on it. There's that point through there, and then up here we've got this narrow point here, which makes this a much smaller section at the bottom, but it still sort of ends up dividing it into 3 fields. And it's yeah, it means that we end up sort of working these bottom bits first. Although the way this is going, it looks like we're going to be working the top bit and working back this way. Not such a bad thing, as I want to try and ted the field, ted field 17. See if that actually makes any difference to it. What I want to do is, because when we were on Little Norton, lots of people were telling me that if I ted dry grass, it kind of resets the tedding state, so it takes longer for it to dry. So what I'm going to do is we're going to TED maybe 2 or 3 strips and see what happens. It may be that it goes faster, it may be that it goes slower, but I am intrigued to see what it does. And you know, we want to test these things. We have more than enough hay and probably more than enough time for this to all dry naturally if we left it. But I wanna have an experiment and see what the difference makes. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna TED 2 strips right in the middle of that section and see what difference doing that makes to it. But certainly this will speed this up, and this is speeding up the drying process on this field. So we're kind of fully expecting this to be dry for next time. And then we can just get ourselves a windrower, row it up, and once that's done, we'll be able to get it baled and hopefully collected. And we've got to do all of that in the next game day. So it's very important that this stuff dries this game day for us to be able to do that next. Let's get this. And then it's a case of, do we hire a bale stacker again? I don't think we should. I think we should go and get ourselves a bale trailer and do some manual stacking. Get this restacked that way on here. You can see that this is all turning, and we've gone from a whole load of wet grass to a whole load of dry grass very quickly. And we just need it to dry a little bit further into hay for us to make our money. And hay is worth a lot of money to us on here. I think somebody was telling me hay is worth more money than silage if not selling to the BGA. And of course, at the moment we don't have the BGA. If we're lucky, what we'll be able to do is pick up a contract near the time of us. Actually, I'm thinking if we can pick up a contract that includes something with a rumor in it, that would be good. But those contracts tend to be pretty big, or pretty annoying, one way or the other. But yeah, we can use a contract to lift these bales if we're able to. And that doesn't matter so much if it's getting cut and rowed and baled in the rain. So that being a contract, which is always a possibility. You know, it gives us plenty of time, and we know that those contracts are worth a lot of money. Oh, a little bit far out, but yeah, this 4.5 meters is a really good width for a tedder of this size and this price, even if for some reason it won't go on our 60 horsepower tractor. It does work on our 90, and that is absolutely fine. There we go. And one last bit, like so, and that is that done. Perfect. Right, turn it off. We might have to, I think 4.5 meters, we need to fold this in to get through the gateway. And part of the reason why I wanted to use the other tractor for this job is once we'd finished this, it's actually a double gate. Once we'd finished this, what I wanted to do was go and do the horses, but that's okay. We are seeing both of our horses that we'd fully exercised previously are down to 90% now. So I think what we're going to have to do with the horses is go select one a day and ride it. Right. So, as I said, my test is going to be a couple of rows in the middle here. We'll see if this teds, and we'll see what effect it has when it does. So yeah, there is no change on this row at all at the moment. So we are just doing this single row down the middle because it's a nice mix. We'll be able to see whether it's a case of it goes faster or slower than the rows around it. And then we'll do one row on the way back as well. So we'll do yeah, this row back. This will give us a good indication of exactly what we should be doing, tedding our fields and tedding our grass, and seeing if it actually makes any difference for us to ted dry grass. And I know I'm probably going to get a couple of people in the comments going, oh, you know, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, or yes, you should, and we'll see what happens. But that is done. So let's go and take this back up to the other yard, and we will grab our little 5000 series, bring that back down here, and get our horses seen to. Now our horses are in need of pretty much everything. We don't have any carrots at the moment. We could go and buy another set of those. We do have some oats, so we can give them those, and we do have some. We do have hay, of course, as well, and we do have some horse silage. So those are all good things. So let's hook that up. We also need to hook up our rear section here, and if we have time, we might go and take some manure down to the allotment as well. See if we can get that down there. That way we end up not worrying too much, and we're able to just concentrate on the hay. Oh, sorry, on the yeah, hay making next time. Let's bring it out, and I need to back up because I need to get the oats, which are in that corner. Should be plenty laying on the ground here. I'm not expecting to have to get any more. Let's see where we are, because yeah, so bucket is at the wrong angle. Down and in, and got 206, perfect. Yeah, that'll be plenty of oats for our horses. And then what I'd like to do is hook up the water trailer as well. So, which is a weird way to hook it up, but it does work, thankfully. Eventually we will get a tractor that works properly with this trailer. Yeah, somebody was asking me in the comments last video, and when will we be doing, or when will I be switching out the Ford 5000 series? The answer to that is basically once there's two mod packs I'm waiting for. There's a David Brown mod pack that's on the way, and there is a and then there's a version of all of the 10 series Fords on the way. I will be looking at both of those mod packs in order to use them on here, and if we get the David Brown pack out, I will replace the 5000 series with an old David Brown, I think, and we're looking at a top end 10 series as well. See if we can put something in here that is 7810 or something like that as well, just to give us over 100 horsepower. We might get the T-Dub on here. I'm still looking at it, but we need to get a replacement for this that has a front loader. So if the 6810 update from the 10 series pack includes a front loader, then we will probably upgrade our 6810 to do that. Get a 7810 in, and then lose this. But it kind of depends on how things pan out. At the moment, we're not looking to replace this though. So let's get this in here. Open up that, and refill it. It's a bit finicky where this refills. Or it's got a slightly weird trigger on it. Yeah. Ah, there we go. That's refilling. So we can disconnect that now. And we want to drop off the front because I think our horses... Wow, our horses still need about 100 litres of oats. So let's grab another 100 litre of oats and put those in. And we're going to hook up to the straw now as well. So we can drop our tail off. There we go, 148 litres. That's probably more than enough. Drop down. And away we go. And we can get the straw while we're at this as well. Which is our last straw bale. But, as I said, this should be enough to keep us going until the harvest. We're not using that much straw. Yep, there we go. We've still got 30. Yeah, so we've only used 800 litres of straw off this bale. And out it goes. Wow. Okay. Yeah, about 1,000 litres by the looks of things there. Drop that off. Oh, these poles are a little bit annoying. But we will work around them. There we go. And down there. Drop that off. Drop that off. Around here. And get... Oof, the oats in as well, and then the last thing we'll need to do is get the hay bale in after that. We've got 15 hours on this. Considering we're 2 years into this series, 15 hours is not a huge amount on this tractor. We use it a lot. Right, I'm actually going to leave the remaining 32 oats in this because the likelihood is they will use enough oats for us to tip that next time before we go and do anything up at our allotments. See, that one is just in the way for me. So we'll go put the bucket back in the shed and grab our bales back. And we need to put the weight on the back of this tractor as well. Otherwise, we're just going to spend all of our time tipping forwards. So, bucket down and off. Turn around for our weight, like so. And then hook that up. Get in to here for this, and I think the bale we've got at the front of here is diminished already because we've been putting it in, and that's, yeah, so 1,400. With any luck, this whole bale will go in this time, and we will stock up these bales all the way to the edge with this, I think, and then just sell the rest. That will be more than enough hay. Right, and in. They didn't take all of it. How much did they take? Okay, that's good. that will be another day's worth. So end of next game day, we should be able to give more hay and then take the rest of this bale. I don't know why I've closed that, because we do still have one more bale to drop in and to top off. And that is, let's put that in there. And then to put this in here. What I'd like to do next time, I think, is see if we can get Courseplay to run, and get that to do the mowing. Sorry, not the mowing, the windrowing, and then we just follow behind with the baler. The alternative is that we run the windrow and get the baler to do separately, or get the baler to follow us. There we go. How much are we down to? 1,784. So we are all good. That has been really efficient and really good. Horses are once again looked after and looking good. Right. So down and in there. Those back. Let's have a look at our horses. So horses are all good except for the carrots, which we don't have at the moment. We will have to go and buy some of those. We will drop off this here, and then I'm going to go up the top and we're going to finish off that bit of ploughing and yeah, discuss the point that was raised last time, which I think is very, very valid, and it's going to lead to a new approach with the ploughing as far as using the non-reversible plough goes. As a result, we are back in the 6810. I've refueled it. And we're just going to skip across to here. Yeah. And we'll discuss how I've ploughed this field and how it should be ploughed. So, how I've ploughed this field is how you would plough it for a reversible plough. And as somebody pointed out in the comments, it's something that I was suspecting the whole way through doing this. If you were to plough a field this way with a non-reversible plough, you would end up with the whole field having big ruts and big humps throughout it, because you're constantly, I need to turn on create fields, you're constantly pushing the ground into them. You're pushing it away from itself. So here we're pushing it to the right, which is uphill. And if I come and sort out this little bit of grass here, you can see we're going to be pushing it downhill. So as I then turn and go the other way, I'm then creating these hills and these troughs. So the result seems to be that the way they used to do it would be that they would either start from the middle of the field and work their way out, or start at different edges and work their way in, which is really interesting, because I've never seen a plough like this done before. So the example would be, if we correct and finish off this row, so the example would be that you'd either push everything into the field or everything out of the field. Now, what I then do, so if I was ploughing this, or if I plough this properly, what we now do is this, and start ourselves down the bottom here. Now I probably need to close the gate to do this properly. But yeah. So then I go along here, and we're now pushing out. So what we're going to be left in the middle of this section would be a trough, but it would only be one trough. You'd have half the field ploughed one way, half the field ploughed the other way, and either a trough or a mound in the middle. So now what we do, now that we've done that first row there, is we then come back up here and do the second row and work our way towards the middle. And basically we are then in furrow ploughing with a non-reversible plough. Thank you to Charles Scaling. You have changed how I am ploughing this field. I now hope I'm ploughing it right. Let us know in the comments if I am. Yeah, I love it when people give me comments like that and things that improve stuff and things get more realistic, you know. Well, you're probably gonna say that I'm doing the headlands wrong in a bit, but this I'm happy with. I think we're now doing this right. And there we go, pretty much clearing up and sort of leaving it, and we end up with this trough in the middle, which makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. That you'd end up with that there, but you only end up with one, and that's the important bit about this, is that it just, rather than it happening every other row, it just happens that row. So what I'm going to do now is I've got to go and do this headland. Now I think we're wrong in how we've got the headlands. In that I think you'd basically go round the field maybe when you're doing the headlands. I've got to do it the other way because, well, we've got no choice because well, I suppose we could reverse up like this and do it this way, but it's not ideal. We are at least then going the same way the whole time and doing it properly because of that. And we've got a few little bits of grass in here, but considering we're going to put horse grass in this field, that's not a huge problem. It'll get mixed in, and when we do the horse silage will work nicely. There we go. And then one more. I think getting a silage bale stack is probably going to be a good thing for us eventually. I think it's one of those things though that we're going to have to hire to do it. Oh, and also, okay, yeah, we're going to go the other way, descent, which makes sense. At least does to me anyway. Polish this off, and then we can get this planted with horse grass. We can get hopefully field 17 planted with soybeans, and that will give us all round a good setup on here. This field has worked well. So we shall see next time what happens as far as our drying grass goes. Maybe it will all dry at the same time and we won't see any difference. But I think that is a job well done on this field. So I'll take this back to the shed. But for now, I think we'll end this here. So all that remains is for me to say thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.